This cheap and easy to install kit can save you thousands of dollars worth of repairs on your N55 or N54. This is an oil thermostat upgrade kit from ECS Tuning, and it goes just right in there on your N55 or N54, and it's supposed to keep your oil temps down quite a bit from the stock setting.
So how exactly can this cheap and easy to install mod prevent you from spending thousands of dollars in maintenance? In theory. Let me explain. Basically, BMWs have a notoriously high operating temperature. The average oil temperature on this car on a hot summer day is 120 degrees Celsius, which is insane compared to most other cars. The idea behind it is that this absurdly high operating temperature makes the gaskets go bad much faster, which, of course, as we know, BMW is notorious for their gaskets failing. So if you can prevent your oil temperature from getting as high, in theory, it will preserve the life of your gaskets. So as you can see here, I'm working on installing the low temp thermostat, and I've started by taking out one bolt on the oil filter housing. Unfortunately, this bolt has to come out. I tried without taking this bolt out, but it has to come out and it only takes 2 seconds, and then you can remove the 2 small screws on the cap. The cap will then pop right out because of the tension from the spring that's inside the thermostat, and you can remove the stock thermostat hardware. Here's a quick look inside the housing, and then I get to removing the gasket, which is actually the whole reason I ordered this kit. BMW doesn't offer this gasket, and mine was leaking, so this low temp thermostat kit is the most cost-effective way to replace this gasket. I then remove the stock hardware from the thermostat, and I can actually see some wear on my stock cup, I'm going to call it, because I don't know what else to call it. But I don't know if anyone else has had this before, if you've done this modification. If you have, let me know in the comments below, because I really don't know if this is normal or not, and I wasn't able to find an answer despite asking multiple people that I know and trust. As you can see, I removed the stock spring, and then I take a look in the housing with the flashlight just to see if I can see anything out of the ordinary, which I really can't, so we move ahead with the install. Now, it's at this point where we begin the installation of the aftermarket thermostat, and it looks just like the factory one, so we installed it just like the factory one. There's not a lot of videos or forums about this modification online, so if you've done it, feel free to leave your opinion in the comments below, because I've seen some opinions where you should flip the cup and the spring, but we installed ours in the factory orientation to try and prevent any potential issues. As you can see, my dad ended up joining me to help me with this little project, and in this clip he's installing the new cap with the new screws, and he's tightening them down in an even way to prevent any potential leaks from happening. We also cleaned the surface before we installed our new gasket. When you get this kit, it comes with the thermostat hardware, a new cap, new gasket, and new screws for the cap. So it's a really handy little kit, especially if you're in the same predicament I was, where I just really needed the gasket and there was no way to get it. As you can see, we're finishing up the job here. I'm putting back the original bolt that I took out from the oil filter housing, and then once I do that, the job's complete. So, all of this begs the question, is it worth it to do this upgrade? Well, let me tell you about my experience. So, the day after I recorded all that footage, I drove my car for over like 150 kilometers, both on highway speeds and in stop and go traffic. Now, keep in mind, I live in Canada. It's the middle of winter, so it was actually a pretty nice day. It was like negative 10 degrees Celsius out there, and I'll put the conversion when I edit the video. But it was a pretty nice day, negative 10 degrees Celsius. Sometimes it's colder than that, sometimes it's warmer. In the summer, the oil temps go much higher than they do in the winter, regardless of any modifications. So my oil temps have been lower recently simply because of the low temperature here in winter. But that being said, I drove for an extended period of time at highway speeds and, like I said, in the city, and my oil temperature barely went above 90 degrees Celsius, which even in the middle of winter is really impressive. If I had to guess, I'd say that in the summer, when it's hot outside, with this new upgrade, if that drop in oil temperature stays consistent, in the summer I can probably expect an oil temperature of around 110 degrees Celsius, which is about 10 degrees lower than the other operating temperature with the standard thermostat. Now, that being said, there's another side to this upgrade.
which is the fact that I found wear on my stock thermostat. Now, wear in any engine is never good. Thankfully, the oil thermostat is not an essential part of making the engine run, otherwise I'd have a bigger issue. But I didn't like seeing wear anyway, and if you have an N55 or N54 and you've done something with your oil thermostat and you had wear as well, please do let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious, as I couldn't really get a definitive answer as to if this is normal or not. So let me know your experience in the comments. Now, I'm really happy I did this modification, even if it didn't bring down my oil temps, which it did, but even if it didn't, I'm happy I did it because of the wear on my stock thermostat. That can't be good, and I guess after 160,000 kilometers, if it is normal, then it's something that should be done, and if it's not normal, well, then something is gonna hurt my wallet down the line. If you've done this modification before on your N55 or N54, do feel free to leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are on it. If you haven't done the modification yet, I can say that I recommend that you do it. It kept my oil temps lower than they were before, and I replaced my stock thermostat, which had wear. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.